start with Unit 2 Prose The Night the Ghost Got In by James Grover Thurber. Hello, students. I welcome you all for today's English class. We start with Unit 2 Prose The Night the Ghost Got In by James Grover Thurber. Let's know about the author here. James Thurber was an American cartoonist, author, humorist, journalist, playwright, and celebrated wit. He was best known for his cartoons and short stories published in the New York Magazine, such as The Catbird Seat, and collected in his numerous books. He was one of the most popular humorists of his time as he celebrated the comic frustrations and eccentricities of ordinary people. Let's get into the summary of the story. The story starts with the narrator James Thurber coming out of the bathroom after a shower at 1:15 in the morning and hearing a noise downstairs in the dining room. It sounds like someone walking quickly around the dining room table. He assumes that his father or older brother just returned home from the trip, but after a few minutes have passed, still the walking has not stopped, and he comes to know that his brother and father didn't return. Later, he comes to the conclusion it is a ghost or burglar. He goes to wake his brother Herman. Wakened suddenly, Herman is frightened when he is told that there is someone downstairs. Herman goes back to bed, slamming the door. However, the slamming of the door brings their mother out into the hall. The mother asks about all of the footsteps she has heard and then comes to the conclusion that there are burglars downstairs because the telephone is downstairs where she thinks the burglars are. She devises a scheme to contact the police. She throws a shoe through the window of the house next door, which is close to Thurber's house, waking Mr. and Mrs. Bodwell who live there. They are their neighbors. At first, Mr. Bodwell thinks that she is telling him that there are burglars in his own house, but after a momentary confusion, he calls the police and tells them to go to Thurber's house. The arrival of the police blows the whole event out of proportion. Their group includes Fort Sedan full of police, 2 on motorcycles, and a few reporters. The police call them to open the door when no one in the house goes downstairs because they are afraid to go downstairs as they assume there are burglars inside the house. So the police finally break the door. The police enter into the house, searched everywhere, and the mother insisting that there were burglars in the house, even though all of the doors and windows are bolted from inside. The police searching the house, moving furnitures, and emptying the closet. At one point, a policeman's curiosity gets the best of him and he points out an unusual old musical instrument, a zither, to another officer. Then the narrator adds the useless information that the family's old guinea pig used to sleep on the zither. The policemen are suspicious of this strange family. When the narrator's grandfather sleeps in the attic, makes a slight noise, the policemen spring into action. They race upstairs to investigate. The narrator knows that this will lead to trouble because his grandfather is actually going through fits where he believes he is in the war front and General Meade's men are deserting under fire from Stonewall Jackson. He calls them cowards and tells them to go back to the battle. Grandfather slaps one of the policemen, tells them to go back to the battle. And also sending him to the floor, he takes the man's gun from his holster and shoots at him, hitting him in the shoulder. He fires twice more and then goes back to bed. Back downstairs, the police are upset that there is nobody to arrest, but they are not willing to go back to attic as they are at risk being shot again. The wounded police officer's shoulder is bandaged and they started looking around the house again. A reporter approaches the narrator who has not been able to find one of his own shirts and is instead wearing one of his mother's blouses. When the reporter asks what all of the commotion is about, the narrator replies that the problem is that they have had ghosts in the house. The reporter thinks about for a while and then walks away quickly. The policeman who has been shot says that he has to get his pistol back. The narrator promises to get the gun from his grandfather in the morning and bring it down to police station. The next morning, the grandfather comes down to breakfast looking cheerful. He has forgotten all the commotion that happens the previous night. He says that nobody bothers to keep a water bottle beside his bed and how thirsty he was last night searching for water around the dining room table. Thank you. Hope you understand the storyline. Please read the summary of the story again and again to get the story clear. Thank you.